Hi, my name's Matty Kling. I also go by the name Human Being. That's my artist name. How long was I Hyperian? I guess I started my journey with Hyperianism at the end of 2018 and the beginning of 2019, back when Morgue only had a few thousand followers. I was really intrigued by some of his first videos that he published, and that's what led me to purchasing all his material.
So I was around Hyperianism since its inception in 2017, I believe, so around 5 years.
What drew me into Hyperianism was the fact of synthesizing shadow and light in ourselves, the philosophical concepts, the mathematics, the ontological mathematics. I thought Morgue was the herald of all of this information. I believed every word of it at the start. So I thought this guy was charismatic, he was genuine, and all the material that he created was his own.
So what drew me to Hyperianism was the excitement of having finally found an online community focused on the revolutionary system of ontological mathematics, which was something that I had been studying for a few years prior.
What made me get involved? Well, after knowing all of the knowledge that his books taught me, I wanted to get a part, or be a part of this movement, and I wanted to see it worldwide. I guess I wanted to spread the message. I wanted to start my own Australian Hyperianism movement here in Hobart, and so I created an Australian Hyperianism page, and I came up with the idea for Hyperfest, which would be a festival to bring all Hyperians together to then turn it into a meritocratical movement, if that makes sense. I had all these ideas and I wanted to be a part of it.
So I got involved because I didn't just want to be a passive learner, like just soaking up information on my own. I wanted to get active. I wanted to interact with intelligent people who understood the system of Ont Math, or at least were trying to understand it.
What red flags did I notice, if any? One major one was I wanted to be a part of the moderators of the middle circle, and I had been in talks with Susan Mitchell, and I really wanted to take the test and enact this Hyperfest idea that I had as a stepping stone to turning it into a movement. But the major red flag that I had was one day in the Outer Circle Facebook page, I made a post and I said, can we please not call it the Cult of Reason? Can we call it the Movement of Reason? That would change the whole direction of the way this all goes. Instantly I got banned. That was a major red flag for me. And all my ideas were shut down, and I realized this wasn't about the movement at all. It was just about Morgue.
There were a lot of red flags over the years, and I basically just suppressed them. The main one being that, like, with our content creation that we were creating for the Hyperian source, it was always being steered away from the explicit mention of the authors who discovered the system of knowledge that Hyperianism was built on. So I was constantly being urged not to quote from the wrong books for fear of deplatforming and all that. Basically, we had to water our message down like so badly that it was lost to Morgue's own personal issues, which themselves took front and center of the movement. Another red flag was that Hyperianism, it didn't speak to the working class at all. It was more about saving oppressed minorities who didn't even ask for Morgue's help to begin with.
How did I discover the source material written by Mike Hockney? It was a few people inside the movement who shared some Mike Hockney books with me, and through WhatsApp and a few other places, and I got reading them, and that's where I discovered that this material, especially ontological mathematics, is far older than just Morgue. And that's what got me into the God game. It got me into Dr. Thomas Stark. I now almost have the whole collection of the Pythagorean Illuminati books in my bookcase.
I discovered Hockney in the associated AC website, the Armageddon Conspiracy, back in 2014. After reading that first article, I was like, it was a nuke went off inside my mind. Like, I had finally found what I had been looking for years.
What made me leave Hyperianism? Well, I was forking out a lot of money on super chats, on Patreon, on subscription to the YouTube channel, just to get the little emoji to say, hey, look at me, I'm one of you guys. And it started all becoming just about Morgue, and there was no movement. There was only a cult, and that's all it ever was, and they admitted it from the start. So as soon as I saw the moderators leaving, that was a major red flag for me. After just recently seeing Wrath leave, and the latest Hail New Terror album that he was creating and I was going to be a part of. I had created a song for Hail New Terror. As soon as that all fell apart, my eyebrows were sticking up, and I was thinking, yeah, something's up here. And then Rowan left as well. Some of the best minds of Hyperianism were escaping, and I was like, what's up? And that's what led me to the Armageddon Conspiracy website, which Morgue took down. But then I realized that all the work was plagiarized. And it's all about one person's gain from as much money as he can get. It's not a movement. It's not a life-saving meritocratical what's the word? Meritocratical movement that would take over the world. And actually, you know, we had ideas of political parties starting meritocratical movements and all this stuff in the works, but that's what Hyperianism is not about. That it's not even about self-actualizing reason within yourself. It's just about how much you can obey Morgue. So I'm out. I'm Matty Kling, and I'm no longer Hyperian.
I left Hyperianism because of Morgue's self-serving deceit and his lack of respect for all those who gave everything to Hyperianism. He hid the fact that he no longer had the authority to continue using the work of Mike Hockney, but he continued to do so at, mind you, a great profit for himself. He basically stole their work to make a killing, thousands of dollars per video.
How much money did I spend on Hyperianism? I probably spent about $2,000 in the 4 or 5 years I've been a part of it. There were a couple of excited times where I splurged out, but I'm not made of money, so I thankfully I didn't spend too much. But if I had more money, I would have put it into Hyperianism. So I can see how people got duped into spending lots of money.
I don't know how much money I spent on Hyperianism, but I supported not only Morgue, but other content creators on Patreon for years, and spent a considerable amount of money on like equipment for content creation, and then not to mention all my time for whatever that was worth.
What would I say to any Hyperians watching? I would have to say a cult is a cult. They only worship the leader. If all the ideas that they come up with about changing the world, it's all a fallacy. It's all about benefiting the leader and only the leader. So get out while you can. And if you really choose to stay, ask very rational questions towards Morgue. The more people that do that, he can't ban everybody for asking questions. So ask him the rational questions that would make him have to question his existence. And do it often. Question what the source of Hyperianism is, or question just why he decided to call it a cult. They're just some examples, but question everything, guys, because this is what it's about. Morgue and his dollars. He doesn't want to change the world. I'm Matty Kling, and I'm not Hyperian. See you guys.
For any Hyperians watching, just study the warning signs of a cult and apply that to the Hyperian movement. Very importantly, study narcissism and its warning signs. And of course, just study the source material. Read Mike Hockney and all the associated authors. Get it straight from the horse's mouth. You don't need Morgue for anything. Unless you're into fan clubs, then go nuts.
you.